Hi, everybody. Can you all hear me fine? Lovely. Also, just checking if everybody can hear me fine on Zoom, if you guys have joined in. You can just put it in the chat and that'll be great if you have any audio issues. But thank you so much for sort of joining us in person and through Zoom. We have a short talk scheduled today as part of the Terra Carta Design Lab. And part of this talk is getting to learn a little bit more about climate solutions and how you can interlink design and engineering and a couple of these themes and bring together innovative, high impact solutions for the climate crisis and for a variety of other biodiversity and environmental crises. And joining us today is Rajesh Shah, who sort of is here in his green shirt. He sort of has been in the development sector for over 50 years. And we're going to sort of learn from him to keep a little bit of hope as far as the environmental crises are concerned. But I would just love to give a short sort of introduction about him. So Rajesh is an architect by training and a development entrepreneur by profession. He is the founder and managing trustee at the VIKAS Center for Development, which is based out of Ahmedabad. So do give him a visit if you ever want to. With over 50 years of experience and engagement in the social sector, he has also founded and manages Save Private. Its very first social enterprises set up as a for-profit technical service organization. Both of these organizations focus on combating climate change and poverty through community-led afforestation, water resource management, renewable energy management, and also waste management initiatives. And so part of what Rajesh is going to tell us today is sort of maybe take us into a little bit more detail about some of those initiatives and how he's been interlinking climate and development for the last 50 plus years, I would say. Welcome, Rajesh. Please join us.
Yeah. This is fine. Yeah. I have been coming to this campus earlier as a student of architecture. Actually, I studied here. So my association with NID is old. Let me start at the beginning. Immediately after graduation in 1974, I got a fellowship called PACE, Program to Advance Creativity and Entrepreneurship. I was trying to find out what should I do immediately after graduating as an architect from an architectural institution which produces architects with capital A. I was interested in small a, where I wanted to work with large number of people in the villages and slums. And I didn't get those education in the institution. So I thought I will have to discover this. And I got very fortunate to get a small fellowship like this. Under that fellowship, I spent about 6 months with a Gandhian, Jugat Ram Dave, in South Gujarat. He was one person who had participated in our freedom movement. And therefore, I got a chance to be with people who had fought for India's freedom. They had a different kind of set of values, understanding of life, and worldview. I spent about 6 months to study how tribals build their houses and what we can learn from that. And how, as an architect, I can participate into that process of building architectural vocabularies which are local. Having completing that, I came back and I started VIKAS. VIKAS with a basic understanding that whatever I have learned at School of Architecture and other institutions, I would like to use it for a larger society in the process, earn my livelihood, and as well as also address my passion. So that is how VIKAS started. VIKAS is 1978. So it's about 46 years old organization. I was 26 that time. I went to my father and I said, I'm going to start this. He gave me 51 rupees and he says, best luck. I did whatever I could do for you. You have to find your own way. And I'm very happy I took this decision to work. My first exercise was in VIKAS to work with tribals in South Gujarat in coastal areas. And I'm going to tell you from there till today what has been being we are doing. Climate change that time was not a buzzword. It was not something which was being discussed, but I think felt. And this is what I think our responses have been. Let me start. This slide will summarize our work in last 46 years. It is better to light a candle than to talk about darkness. A lot of idealism. At the age of 26, you expect that. But few years in the line, and you realize, traveler, there are no paths. Paths are made by walking. So you have to experiment, you have to try and do that. And in the end, just when I thought I knew all the answers, they have changed the questions. It continuous process. You start, you do something, you try and find solutions, and again, you have to rediscover a lot of things. So this is basically the summary of what really has happened in last 46 years. VIKAS basically focuses on environment and ecological issues, but very much focused on its impact on marginalized communities. So we work with poor and marginalized sections of our society, but impacted by environment and ecological issues. We work with agriculture laborers, bonded laborers, small and marginal farmers, salt producers, people who produce charcoal out of biomass, and fishermen. So these are the people with we work. And we work on the coast of Gujarat, primarily because coast of Gujarat is extremely important for the economy of the state as well as the country, on one hand. On the other hand, it is going to face the biggest challenge of the climate change because of the sea level rise, acidification of sea, lot of cyclones and other issues that are going to be faced, particularly in the Arabian Sea, because of the growing temperatures. So climate crisis is going to impact the western coast of India. Gujarat has highest coastline of the country, 1,600 kilometers. And it is having huge number of people living as marginalized communities who are fishermen, salt producers, charcoal makers, agriculture laborers, farmers, and others. So we thought we will work there. And this is how we will start. Why do we do what we do? Basically, the natural resource degradation, which is happening because also of climate change, reduces livelihood opportunities. And that leads to poverty. What we need to do is reverse that process by improving the natural resources such that it enhances the livelihoods and it reduces poverty. So this is basically the framework under which we work. It's the same thing, but it's combining environment and poverty. We have two levels or two cycles of work. First, we try to rejuvenate the existing ecology and environment there by, let's say, planting mangroves or improving the wastelands and water bodies and others. On the other end, we try and create renewable energy solutions which really absorb a lot of greenhouse gases and don't allow it to emit into the levels. And after that, second cycle is basically for livelihood and enterprise development. This is in nutshell what we do. I have started a fund called LIFE, Local Initiative Fund for Enterprise and Environment. It has two aspects. One is environmental aspects, another one is livelihood. And in environment, we look at green belt creation and recharging of water bodies. We promote renewable energy, solar and biocoal. We try and work on solid waste management because solid waste also is actually emitting a lot of methane in the air and greenhouse gases. And we also work with livelihood of the people through savings and credit programs. All this leads to various initiatives that we will talk about as we go along. Basically, what we have done is we have created low-cost scalable solutions into the space by creating direct interaction with the community. So it's a co-creation of solutions which are really part of their life. And we have worked with civil society organizations, we work with government, we work with other industries and others. My first encounter with poverty was in 1978 when I got a chance to do a study. And that was in Jambusar Taluka of Bharuch district, which is about 150 kilometers down south from Ahmedabad. You won't believe, I found about 3,000 families who were bonded laborers in a vibrant Gujarat. We have vibrating Gujarat. 1.5 rupee of day per day they were earning. 120 days of work they get in a year. They have to borrow money to survive at 10% per month, 120% per year. And since they cannot repay, they have to get bonded. Men are called chakar and women are called panihari. This is something which I encountered in 1978 and 3,000 such families. I decided that we are going to see that these people are out and free from this bondage. And first 15 years went into mobilizing these communities. We took out a rally after 15 years and demanded from the government wastelands, surplus agricultural land, village ponds as a resource to develop so that we can earn our livelihood with dignity and self-respect. And fortunately, after 15 years of struggle, we got 400 families got 1,400 acres of wastelands, 1,500 acres of agricultural land, 9,000 hectares of watershed development program assistance, and mangrove plantation of about 1,200 hectares. So eventually, 250 crore rupees worth of assets were transferred by the government because of the assertion of the community. This was somewhere in 95. We went to banks to get resources, bank finances, to generate wealth out of these assets that we had got. We developed these wastelands. We got this kind of wastelands which are where nothing would grow. We created water harvesting structures, created water bodies, fresh waters. These are all with the government money. And now, today, I am very proud and happy to say that all 3,000 families are out of bondage. This is something which has happened over a period of last 20, 30 years. While we're doing that work, we also realized that climate change was beginning to impact and it was getting more pronounced. So we started working on how do we combat climate change. And one of the biggest possibilities to start planting mangrove trees along the coast of Gujarat. Till now, we have done about 3,000 hectares. That's about 7 million trees of mangroves along the coast. With the help of my colleagues and others, we have developed a concept called Great Green Wall of Gujarat. I wish to sort of talk about that. Can we show the film? This was recorded in UN COP28. If you do something good, which improves the quality of others as well as yours, I think it has a lot of meaning. We are trying to re-establish the link between natural resources, environment, and people and poverty. It was very evident that poverty is linked very closely with degradation of natural resources. We thought that we need to reverse this process such that it generates short-term employment, medium-term income, and in long-term improve the natural resources. We have conceived a program called Great Green Wall of Gujarat so that the erosion stops. It also absorbs carbon dioxide and also gives a lot of employment to the local people. In 1999, we started the mangrove plantation in this region. Within 15 years, we did about 6 million mangrove trees that we planted. And this is something which we think should be replicated along the coast of Gujarat. It's an ambitious project. It is going to plant about 25 million trees along the coast. It's a huge carbon sink. It will generate employment to about 1.6 million human days for the people. It will give fillip to fisheries, animal husbandry and agriculture. Economic growth has to be combined with environmental sustainability, and any development which does not take cognizance of human beings as the center of it, I think it has no meaning. This was taken by COP28 during this Dubai last COP that had taken place. As a result of this, we have now been negotiating with the government and industries to start planting trees along the coast. And we are very hopeful that in another 5 years, we will be able to complete the task, about 5 crores of plants. We have done a detailed feasibility study along the entire coast of Gujarat. We moved to 250 coastal villages where we went and talked to the local people, found out whether they are interested in doing this or not. So their consent, technical feasibility, and finally, we have come up with a total blueprint, which we have submitted to Government of Gujarat and signed an MOU with them during Vibrant Gujarat to get the investment to carry out this project. I'm taking you to some other landscape. You know about Little Run of Kutch, coastal area. Gujarat has there are 2 deserts, large Kutch, desert of Kutch and Little Run of Kutch. In 2005, post-earthquake, we were asked to look at the life and living of small salt producers in Little Run of Kutch. We spent about 6 to 8 months to understand their conditions. 2 things shocked me. When they die, their feet have to be cut because they absorb so much salt. You can see how they produce salt, traditional production. So as a Hindu, if they die and if they have to be cremated, their feet have to be cut because they have absorbed almost a lot of salt in that. Secondly, which is, I think, is inhuman. And secondly, they were getting the price for the salt, where the price of the bag was more than the salt itself. They were getting 8 paisa per kg for the salt that you and I eat at 12 rupees. So I thought this is economically unjust. And both we thought we need to really address. How do we do that? So I set up a company called Sabras. Sabras in Gujarati means salt. And we started producing and marketing salt. Can we have the film? Sure. Yeah. Sorry. We came up with a solution called solar pumps or the diesel pumps. Introduction of solar pumps have made a major impact in the socio-economic aspects of the life of salt producers. There are about 7 to 10,000 salt producers average working annually in Little Run of Kutch. They produce salt by pumping out underground brine. See, if you look at the history of the entire region, people were initially using bullock cart and the buckets to pump out underground brine. Now this brine was utilized in making salt. Gradually, they switched over to diesel. So the animal power was replaced by diesel power. They were using, and they are still using, very inefficient 5 horsepower pump to pump out underground brine to produce salt.
અગરિયાના મીઠાના ઉત્પાદનની કિંમતમાં લગભગ 60થી 70% એ ક્રૂડ ઓઇલ ડીઝલ એન્જિન ચલાવવા માટેનો ખર્ચો હતો. હવે આ ડીઝલ એન્જિનને જો અમે હટાવી દઈએ, એની જગ્યાએ જો બીજી ટેકનોલોજી આપણે અગરિયાને આપીએ તો આ ખર્ચો એનો બચી જાય અને એની ઉત્પાદનની કિંમત જો ઓછી થાય તો એની નફાકારકતા વધે. અને આ જે પ્રયોગો માટેની મથામણ અમારી ચાલતી હતી એમાં વિકાસ સેન્ટર ફોર ડેવલપમેન્ટ, આપણા રાજેશભાઈ અને વિકાસના મિત્રો, એ મિત્રો સાથે વાત થઈ.
In 2007-8, when we came in to start working with salt producers, we thought this was one major area of intervention which will do a dramatic change in their quality of life and relationship with traders and others. We started exploring various sources of energy. We initially tried with a windmill, which didn't function all right in this region because of low velocity of wind in certain months. Then we thought of solar pumps, introducing solar pumps. So as an experiment, we tried and sort of designed 2 solar pumps. And in 2008, we approached NABARD to sort of provide us some assistance so that we can really start looking at exploring this and scaling it up. In 2008-9, NABARD gave us 6 lakhs rupees of interest-free loan to set up 2 solar pumps, which we had designed and got the components from Taiwan. After first year of introduction of the solar pumps, we realized that we are only pumping out 50,000 liters per day. So we did some more research and development on the pumps. Eventually, we designed a pump which could bring out 1 lakh liter per day, which is the requirement of the salt producer.
ગયા વખતે સોલર પહેલું લગાવ્યું હોળી પાસે, એટલે બહુ પાછળથી લાગ્યું. તો ગયા વખતે એમ કે 40,000 રૂપિયાનું ક્રૂડ બચત થઈ ગઈ વખતે. અને આ વખતે અત્યારે બીજું સોલર પણ લાગ્યું, એટલે અત્યાર સુધીમાં 60,000 થી 80,000 રૂપિયાનો ક્રૂડ બચ્યું, ડીઝલ કે ક્રૂડ. એટલે સારામાં સારો સોલર આવતા અમને એમ કે ફાયદો મળ્યો. જે અમારા 1.5 થી 2 લાખ રૂપિયા ક્રૂડમાં જતા હતા, એ ક્રૂડ હવે એમ કે ધીરે ધીરે બચવા લાગ્યું આ સોલર આવતા પછી.
અત્યારની જે ડિઝાઇન છે એ નોર્મલી અગરીઓ જાતે એને ઓપરેટ કરી શકે છે, જાતે એને દર વર્ષે ઇન્સ્ટોલ કરી શકે, ડીઇન્સ્ટોલ પણ કરી શકે છે. કોઈ પણ મેન્ટેનન્સ ફ્રી, 5 વર્ષ સુધી એમાં મેન્ટેનન્સ બિલકુલ ના આવે અને સારી રીતે ઓપરેટ કરી શકે ડે ટુ ડે. એ પ્રકારની આખી સિસ્ટમ એક ડીઝલ એન્જિનને રિપ્લેસ કરી અને બનાવી. અત્યારે આ સિસ્ટમ છે એ એક 3 હોર્સ પાવરની સિસ્ટમ છે. એ રોજનું 8 થી 10 લીટર ડીઝલ બચાવી રહી છે અને 8 થી 9 કલાક એમનું ડીઝલ એન્જિન બંધ રહે છે. અને ડીઝલ એન્જિન જેટલું પાણી ફેંકે 8-9 કલાકમાં એટલું આ સિસ્ટમને ફેંકી લે છે.
પહેલાં આમાં સોલર નહોતા તો અમારે બહુ તકલીફ પડતી અગરિયાને બચારોને. એમ કે ખાવાનું મહિને 5,000 આલે તો માંડ પૂરું થતું, બરાબર. આ સોલર થતા બચા અગરિયાને બધાને લાભ થયો હોય. દિવસનું કરોડ બચત 500 રૂપિયા મિનિમમ રોજ 500 બચે. પછી બચત થાય તો વળી કોઈ વળી છોકરા પરણાવી, કોઈ વળી આ મકાન બનાવી, અને કોઈ છોકરા વળી ભણતા હોય ને વળી શાળાના વળી ભરવાના પૈસા થાય, 2,000 ફી લાવો, ચોપડા લાવી દેવી.
આજે એક બેન કહે છે કે સોલર લાગવાથી આજે અમને એમ લાગે છે કે આ સોલર એ અમારો એક છોકરો છે અને એક ગવર્મેન્ટમાં અમારો છોકરો જોબ કરે છે, કારણ કે દર મહિને અમને 25,000 રૂપિયા 25-30,000 રૂપિયાનો બચત કરે છે.
અને દાળે એમ કે જવું હોય દાળે મશીન ગરમ થઈ જાય, ઓલું તમારે 5 માણસ ભેરું જવું હોય તમે જઈ શકવી, તો અમારે દિવસે સોલર હાલ્યા કરે. મશીન ગરમ થાય નહીં કે પાણી આયા કરે. અને ઓલું મશીન હાલતું હોય ચાલતું હોય તો અમે જઈ ના એકવી ગઈ, આમ બેહવું પડે અમારે મશીનની ચોકી કરી કે મશીન ગરમ થઈ જશે એટલે અમે જઈ ના એકવી. એટલે અમને આ એ લાભ તો બહુ સારો થયો સોલરને.
Agaria Hitrakshak Manch has been a partner in formulating the policies for solar pump and getting government to declare 80% subsidy for agarias. And Association for India's Development, AID USA, has provided 1 crore rupees worth of assistance as a revolving fund to be able to create a proof of concept so that government would come in to provide a larger support for a large number of salt producers. If you look at the cost of the solar pump, it's 2.5 lakhs. So 50,000 rupees has to be borne by the salt producer and 2 lakh rupee is a subsidy. It's a back-end subsidy. So what we do is we provide initial loan to the agaria and they, along with their own contribution, we try and assemble pumps. Once we assemble the pumps, the government comes and looks at and supervises as well as verifies the design and installation of the pump, and they release the subsidy. Now this is annually saving about ₹1,00,000 per salt producer, which is increasing their profitability in the salt production process.
સોલરથી ફાયદો અમારે ડીઝલના પૈસા બચી ગયા, ફાયદો થઈ ગયો અમારે સોલર આવ્યા એમાં. પહેલાં તમારે કરવું ઘણું 10-15 બેલર થતા, લાખ 1.5 લાખનું ખર્ચ થઈ જતું, કરોડનું ડીઝલનું, ઓઇલનું, મિશિન લોઢા સામાન એવું બધાનું બહુ અમારે ધ્યાન રાખવું પડતું. ત્યાં સોલર આવ્યા એમાં બહુ ફાયદો અમારે પડી ગયો.
The surplus generated is utilized for education, health, and for the welfare of the development of the family. This is a major game changer as far as the salt production process is concerned by small producers, and it will go a long way in improving their quality of life.
Till now, about 5,000 families have benefited out of it. It has stopped all usage of diesel, and it is environmentally friendly. It is economically beneficial for a very marginalized sections of the society. Learning from this, we went to the fourth innovation is into the solar linked drip irrigation. We are right now working since last 2 years with small farmers of Banaskantha district, which is in northeast of Gujarat. They are 2 acre, 1 acre landholders. They were producing agriculture activities they were carrying out for one season because they didn't have enough water to be utilized for the 2 other seasons of agriculture. We brought this solar system along with drip irrigation to extend and expand the area of coverage as well as the time. Today they are 13-14 pumps already installed since last 2 years, and they are saving about ₹1,00,000 from their income. Their surplus income is about ₹1,00,000 now. So we are trying to now see how we can make it bankable so that about 1,00,000 such families along the entire strip of tribal belt of Gujarat can benefit from it. There is another innovation that we have been doing is on plastic waste. We call it Bakasur. It's a plastic digester which has been developed. It's an innovation which we have got patent for. We have got 2 patents for this. Basically, we are trying to, through the pyrolysis process, try to see that the plastic is converted by heating it, gets converted into gas, which is reused for heating the rest of the plastic. And that gas is free from any hazardous this thing. We are now waiting from the government to get the permission. This will crack one of the biggest challenges that we are all facing of single-use plastic or the plastic of pouches and others. So this is one which is very much on the card. We are also working on seaweed in climate action. Gujarat has one 350-kilometer long coastline, which is near Dwarka, Saurashtra, which has a suitable water and sea conditions for growing seaweed. Seaweed is very good in terms of absorbing carbon dioxide. It's 12 tons per hectare. And since last 2 years, we have been doing this work with the Central Salt Marine Chemical Research Institute. We are also growing it near border of Pakistan, Kori Creek, since last 1 year. So we are now scaling up this entire initiative. Another thing which we are working on is converting Prosophis joliflora, which is locally called Gandobawal, into coal, which is being used today as a wood into the boilers. We are converting them, the solid fuel, through terrafaction process to reduce the time, energy, and also its impact on climate. So it's a climate solution for solid fuel. Last, we have designed a rocket stove to replace the smokeless stove, which is costing around ₹2,000, but very efficient. It reduces about consumption of food by 1/3. Thank you. I would be happy to answer any questions if you have. Yeah.
You please.
First of all, I'm Katyayani Parvate from Furniture Design. And I wanted to ask you about torrefaction. What is that? I didn't
Terrefaction
understand.
is a process which terrefaction is a process which is done with a high temperature, but it is using the same methane which is produced while producing coal. It is used in the same vessel. It doesn't go out. It doesn't go and escape into this thing. And it's a process which is one step lower than making it a charcoal. And it has greater advantages in terms of climate change because it does not release certain gases while burning also in the boiler.
Okay. But what is the material you use for?
We are using biofuel. I mean, we are using Prosopis juliflora. Prosopis juliflora in Gujarat is called Gando Bawal. Mad.
Okay.
It grows very wild. It's an invasive species which came from Mexico many years back.
Yeah.
And it is growing very wild. It is killing a lot of biodiversity. So government is also tired. And they would like also some use of this biofuel.
Is it like lantana?
Mesquite. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I know we're all feeling a little sleepy post-lunch, but if you have any questions about any of your solutions, how you can link climate to any of your design solutions, because he is an architect by training, and a lot of what sort of he's implementing right now is utilizing those learnings and linking them into climate. So for example, doing these, like addressing invasive species and at the same time generating energy, utilizing multiple things together. So if you have any questions about how you can link climate to your design work, now would be the time.
So we have been working on this system design under which we were working with brick manufacturing. So we also got to talk to a lot of bonded laborers that are working in the brick kilns, which around Ahmedabad, and about the material that they're using coal for firing, and the technique that they're using is causing a lot of environmental issues right now.
Exactly.
But we looked at also the other kilns, which are like the advanced technology, but they have not been implemented. So I particularly am working on the material, but about the smoke, where the government, it is not recorded, right? Because all of this is according to government. They should be shifting to the newer technologies, but they are not shifting. So at government level, how do you intervene like at such a large scale as a designers? Just wanted to.
Yeah, there are 2-3 things. One, my gray hair works, which I cannot help in your case. But I jokes apart. But basically, you have to get interacting with the government. First, normally our approach is this. We try and take the first call. We do it ourselves, create a proof of concept, try and get in touch with industries to raise resources, gradually scale up the initiative. You have to take a lot of effort to convince a lot of people. Yeah. Fortunately, I am also a member of Gujarat Coastal Zone Management Authority. So that gives me a little leverage in the system, but it's not too much because government is government. And but you have to find a way to, of course, I agree, it's a tough call. Our collectors and DDOs are more accessible. So you have to really start working at that level. Try and get some people who are interested in this and gradually build it. I have done that by doing it only. Yeah, there is no easy solution. It's the same story with the people. I mean, when I first went there, they thought I was a communist. And some of them even beat me up physically because I was running a grain shop. So it's part of the job. And you have to take the resistance that comes, but gradually establish your credibility. So let's say in your case, brick kiln and all that, if you create a proof of concept, there are a lot of opportunities now. I think the environment in which we started working in 70s and 80s, it's much better because there's a lot of support for startups. A lot of new ideas have to be are encouraged. And I think one has to really make an effort to the right people. If you want any help, I would be very happy to help you. Yeah?
Thank you.
Yeah, please.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
My name is Amit, and I'm from product design. We are working on heat waves as a topic for our systems project, and in that, we found that the most affected community are the labor and workers and the lower class. So, during your projects, how did you manage to communicate to those people who are not at all connected to the world through digital media, or like how do you send your message that this is something important that we are trying to do?
For any relationship to be built, you have to invest time, whether it is marriage, love affair, or work. Yeah, you have to spend time, and you have to create your own credibility as we go along. Initially, people are not going to trust you, not going to listen to you. You have to spend time with them to be able to do that. I used to run several camps. We used to bring these people out, work with them for some time, learn their language, try to understand from their perspective what is happening, and then the communication improves. Yeah. So basically, it's any human relationship. It's nothing different. Yeah.
Also, just one thing to add, because I remember you had said this once previously. You have to tell them what's in it for them. So what was that
Yeah.
Gujarati saying that you were saying?
Yeah. Maru shu nahi to mare shu. Gujarati ma kehwat છે.
Okay.
Maru shu. I mean, what is for me? Otherwise, I have nothing to do with it.
Right.
And basically, you have to be in their shoes. We have to really try and understand their needs. And one thing as a professional, I'm saying, as a technical professional, I'm saying, initially, I thought I knew all the answers. Yeah. But then I realized that they also have their answers. And I think I know and you don't know. That situation has to change. That you know, I know, let's work together to create a third one. And I think that co-creation process brings a lot of humility in you, that you don't know a lot of things. Yeah. And I think that is very different attitude that you have to, particularly if you are working with marginalized sections of the society. And I think as a professional, this is something very important, that your art of listening,
Right.
rather than talking. I mean, really, you have to listen to a lot of things and then from there build on it. Yeah.
Namaste. I am Niharika from Graphic Design PG 22. So I wanted to ask a few questions which were related to how did you start up? Because a lot of things we do for a cause or where we want to do something good, initially it is very hard to build money out of it because we have to sustain it also.
Sure.
So that is where I most of the time feel stuck ki ya to, like, even in my design decision, even in graduation, and yeah, what I will do after college is, should I initially start building a money bank for the idea later, or should I like start like government से भी बातचीत और वो सब चीजें, like it's a very long process. So like how did you?
Well, basically, I didn't worry about how I'm going to sustain myself. Fortunately, I always got support. And any good idea, today also in the office, I say, if you have a good idea, we will find resources. And it always comes. That's the confidence and faith I have. That I have built over a period of time. In last 46 years, I'm telling you, out of complete this thing, I have not faced a single day where I had any crisis of money. I have been able to convince people to get what I want to do. Yes, expectations have to be low initially. Gradually, it grows. It's like any practice, whether you are doing it for the cause or you are doing it for anything else. I feel if this work has to be done, you have to be first dissatisfied. You have to be angry. And that anger has to be converted into passion. And that passion has to be combined with creativity and enterprise. All this put together makes this work possible. So I think you will find answers to that. It depends on what kind of idea you have and what impact is going to create and who is the right person or who is the right agency which can support it. Yeah.
और ये भी क्वेश्चन था कि एज अ ग्राफिक डिजाइनर अभी आई एम करेंटली फोकसिंग ऑन स्प्रेडिंग अवेयरनेस और टॉकिंग अबाउट क्लाइमेट चेंज और द कॉजेज विच आर देयर विच पीपल नीड टू नो अबाउट बिकॉज सब लोग इग्नोरेंट हो जाते हैं या छोटी छोटी चीज़ें छोटे डिसीजंस और माइंडफुली नहीं लेते हैं सो डू यू थिंक spreading awareness and sensitizing people has an impact or should I also focus on something developing material?
No, I think what is important here, kind of work that you wish to pursue in a communication part, it has to be part of a larger initiative. For example, we are doing mangrove work. We also need people who can help us with how do we communicate with the communities? What kind of visuals are required? We are not equipped to do it. So we need to collaborate. So you need to collaborate with people who are pursuing such initiatives and see your space. This is a collective work. It can't be, as a graphic designer, you alone can't change things. You have to be part of a team. I have a team of about 40 people and of different types and different people. And before I came here, I thought I will ask if anybody is interested in working with us. I would be happy to sort of find out how we can engage. Yeah. So there is always a space for good professional who is wanting to do something good. I am very sure about that.
And also, how do I figure out that because I have not done field work yet and I do not know the actual condition, it is all based on secondary research and speculation. So how do I figure out what is going to be the most suitable and solution which actually works rather than something
As I
aesthetically?
said, there are no shortcuts. So you cannot fly a plane without a flying hours. Okay, you have to spend time. You have to spend time in the field to learn and understand what they are talking about, what we want to communicate. It has to be a both ways interactive process. It cannot happen sitting here in a classroom. It has to happen in the field with the people. So you have to spend time with them. And that you will find answers to that, I'm very sure. Because I think designers like us, I am part of you, we have sufficient here to take care of things. We would be able to do it. Yeah. You have to have a right intention to pursue something. Perseverance is very important.
That's all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Sakshi. So currently I'm working on a project which is based on the denim industrial waste. So what happened in industry is that they burn the fabric in huge amount, which creates a lot of carbon emission in the environment. So I'm doing a very simple process right now to rescue all those material and converting it into garments and product. But I feel the more I'm doing it, I feel that this won't be the self-sufficient to like go ahead in future. So and like I'm right now looking for some research in a different manner where the reduce which is happening can be converted into zero, because it's currently it's 288 million meter per year which is happening. But there are few things like I'm catering to the industry, the meals, so they don't care about the small amount which is, you know, creating an issue in the environment, because they are dealing in crores and all. They don't give to thousands numbers.
They don't care.
So how
They
so
don't
the
care.
problem which I'm facing right now is that how do I make them understand? Because I have been, so currently I have contact with Arvind and Lifestyle, Nandan. They are the good meals in India itself. But the moment it come to the conversion in terms of the money matter, there is something which
Sure.
I fail.
See, all human beings take commercial decisions and not scientific decisions. And that's the reason why we are here. Okay. If we were taking scientific decisions, including farmers or even industrialists, we are all same. All right. So you don't expect that to happen. Unless and until you are pushed to the wall, human beings don't change. Right. It's a behavioral change. It's not, they understand this. So this is given. If within that, you have to find a space. When I started first time to grow mangroves, I found it very difficult to convince people. And it took me 20 years. And today everybody is talking about mangroves because climate change is creating trouble. They are talking about carbon credit. They are going to earn something out of it. Now everybody, the whole world is behind it. Now there is no space, not enough space. Today we have a lot of money and not land where we do the plantation. So this is the change that takes place. So basically, as I said, human beings take commercial decisions, not scientific. And you have to live with it. You have to find a way. You have to find some sensitive human beings within the industries. There are industries and industries. There are Tatas and there are others. I don't want to name them. But I think there is a whole range. You have to find a person who would listen to you and you have to pursue that. Yeah. But again, if you have any specific problem and if you wish to talk, I'll be happy to help you.
Thank you.
I
thank
know a
you.
lot of industries where we can try.
Yeah,
We
definitely.
can convince them. Yeah,
I will connect to you.
yeah,
Well,
please.
Thank you
please,
so much.
Please.
Sorry, before the next question, just a quick reminder to everybody in the chat as well, because we're also live streaming this on Zoom. If anybody has any questions, please do just put it in the chat, or if you want us to unmute you, we can also do that. But yeah, we can move on to the next question if anybody has. Any other questions? Okay. Yeah, I think then we're good. It seems a lot of people would have love listening to you, maybe not talking as much, but I think that about wraps it for today. Rajesh is very accessible. He is based out of Ahmedabad, so if you do want to give him a visit, I'm sure he can also sort of offer to sit and spend some time with you as well. And obviously, like he said, he's more than willing to work with design students as well. But yeah, any questions you may have that you also don't want to ask in this setting, you can always reach out to him right after this session and speak to him personally as well. And hopefully that added some value for you guys in terms of how sort of you can use your design knowledge to address social issues and climate issues and sort of link both of those things together while keeping human development in mind. But thank you so much for joining us in the afternoon. And yeah, hope you guys have a good day. Any closing comments from Rajesh ji?
No, I am very happy and I would be happy to, as I said, to work with any one of you interested in it. I spend a lot of time with young people. That keeps me young and would like to help in whatever way I can. Yeah. My number is available here. So my email and number, both you can ask Paras to share that with.